If you want to get started into home canning and really work on your own home food preservation techniques this way, it's a little daunting. It can be a little bit scary or nerve-wracking to get started. There's a lot of different equipment out there. The big question that I ask people is, what do you really need? And the answer is not much. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much money. I'm going to show you today the cheapest ways to get started into home canning, the absolute cheapest setup of base equipment that it's going to take for you to get started. This right here is the second cheapest option for getting started into home canning. This is just a big pot. It's a large stock pot. A lot of grandmas used to have this same kind of pot, or even the same exact brand. They've been around for a while. Now, this pot apparently is full of lids for wide mouth jars and regular mouth jars, because I bought a bunch of those today. But here's the real kicker. Inside here, I just bought this today actually at Menards. $24.99. It's a nice canning rack. This canning rack is basically the same way they've made them for 50 or 60 years. And my wife still has one of these that she got from her grandmother in this same pot, although actually the pot wore out. The bottom of it wore a hole through it after about 40 years. They are pretty durable. They're lightweight, not heavy, and they're durable. This is a 21 quart, right? That's right, 21, yeah, 21 quart canner. That means the pot itself holds 21 quarts of water. I believe, it says so somewhere on there, this will hold 7 quart jars stacked around each other, and it'll hold 7 of them in there. Yeah. 7 quart jars, or 9 pint jars, or 12 half pint jars. If you're doing half pint jars, you could technically, those real short ones, maybe even almost pint jars, almost, you could technically do more than one layer of them if you had some kind of a second canning rack, which you can buy for $9-10 anyways. Some people charge more than that. They shouldn't. It's only a $10 rack. But if you have 2 of these racks, you can have your first layer of jars, and then you can put another rack on top and have a second layer of jars stacked on top of them. Now, you need a rack or something like that, some sort of a trivet or a spacer or a rack. What it does is it keeps your jars, those glass jars, off of the bottom of the pot. And that's really important, because otherwise they have a very high likelihood of cracking. It's just too much heat stress to have any of that heat coming that directly. We need them to be heated by water only. So we're going to put this in the bottom of this pot. We're going to put the jars on top of here, and there's going to be almost nothing giving very direct heat to that jar at that point. It's all going to be that indirect heat from the water boiling around it. Even the bottom of this pot, it's made with these deep ridges. And that is so you're not going to get too much contact with the bottom of the pot and this rack, which means the rack isn't going to get too hot in spots. Besides the fact that it actually makes the bottom stronger by having these circular ridges in it so it doesn't pop in and out very much. It does that. It helps you to get less stress in the bottom of your jars, so that you're going to, well, your jars are going to last longer. They're not going to crack as often. Now this pot, I love it. We didn't need it. Any pot works. We have other large pots and other canning racks. But I wanted to get this one particularly because, first of all, it's a very classic, cheap, affordable canner. I like it. And I wanted to show you folks just how easy it is to get started into canning with something as simple as this canner. I know you can buy this same one. Granite Ware is the brand. And it's a Granite Ware style pot. Makes sense. You can buy this on Amazon, but they're charging, most of the sellers there are charging $60 to $70 to $80 for this same thing. The best place I know to get it from personally is Menards. You can go to Menards.com and find this for $24.99, and you might pay another $15 or $20 in shipping, but it's still cheaper than what I was seeing on Amazon. Walmart also sells these for the same price, and you might be able to get a better deal if you order through Walmart's website, just as a notation. This is an awesome little pot, and it's lightweight. The larger type of pressure canners and whatnot, they're real heavy, they're bulky and heavy. This is lightweight, and there's nothing to it other than just the rack and the pot. And the other one I wanted to show you, same brand, same basic idea, it's just a smaller version. This is what? This is a 7.5 quart, 7 liter pot. This one is a little different. This is what they call the multi-use pot. This is actually called the canner. This is just known as 21 quart canner with jar rack. This is the multi-use pot, and still got some tape in there. What it is just a decent pot with a strainer insert. So you can do any kind of steaming or parboiling or canning. With this insert, this pot, full of boiling water with this little strainer in there, that fits so nice. I can put jars in here. I can do a couple quart jars or pint jars in here. I think it'll fit 2 quart jars, and I'm not sure how many pints. I'll check that when I'm inside later. But it'll fit more than 2 pint jars. This will fit 2 quart jars, several pints. It's durable, it's great, and it's also, look how small that is. It's perfect size if you want to try doing a little bit of canning. You don't have a big household, you don't need much. This is only about 18 or 19 bucks. I think I paid $18 and change for this today. This is an awesome pot. It's plenty big enough to do basically anything for a small family in. Plus, with just this awesome little strainer doohickey, and that's a pretty nifty strainer too, you can do some great canning. The lid's awesome. So these are the 2 setups for processors, for canners, that I would recommend if you want to get started canning. You can't do pressure canning in these. There's no way to hold in pressure. But you can can. Anything that you can do with a pressure canner, you can do with a boiling pot of water, whether you want to call it kettle canning, open kettle, water bath canning. You can do that. The timetables are going to be greatly extended. Instead of your normal something like around 60 to 90 minutes for processing meat, for example, in a pressure canner at 15 pounds of pressure. In one of these things, boiling water, it takes 3 hours under normal conditions when you're talking non-excessive elevation, around 1,000 feet or less above sea level. So for your low acid foods, you can do it. For your high acid foods, things that preserve easier, your fruits and things like your tomatoes, technically a fruit, I guess, but those types of things are really great in a boiling pot of water to process them, to create the vacuum inside the jar and to give you enough heat that's going to pasteurize the entire contents of your jar and clean it out, sterilize it, pasteurize it. Well, I'm going to run inside the house. I actually have a small pig to get canning, so I have to get to work, and I will catch you later. Bye now. Oh, wait. Check out that video that'll be about that, too, coming up soon. Bye now.